Hey YouTube, how's it going? This is Gons of Face Like the Sun. So, it's almost 2015, and looking back at this year, I simply have to say I failed. Now, last year, about this time, I said I wanted to produce more videos, and I wanted to post something every week, but that lasted about 2 weeks, and then no more videos. But I do have some excuses on my behalf. I did release Age of Deceit 2, Alchemy and the Rise of the Beast Image. And if you've watched that movie, thank you for all the support and the comments and everything. If you haven't, you can watch the whole 3 hours for free on this channel. Definitely do that. And if you've purchased the DVD to support the ministry, I really appreciate that. It's gone out to several countries all over the world, and I'm just really grateful for people who have done that. So that was a big project that I wanted to finish this year, and I was able to do that early on. Also, Canary Cry Radio. If you go to canarycryradio.com, you'll see all the episodes there. We're on episode number 80 right now as I record this, and there's just tons of stuff there. I think we have close to 100 episodes. I know I said episode 80, but we've done a bunch of flybys, which are shorter segments of episodes. So you can check those out. We have some big plans in 2015 for Canary Cry Radio as well. So keep an eye out for that. And then also another big project that I had this year was the conference, the Prophecy Forum, A World Turned Upside Down. And you probably saw some of those promo videos that were out just a few weeks ago. The conference was a complete success. It was in mid-November. We had 450 people show up, several hundred more live streaming all over the world. And if you want to check out the archives for that, that'll be up for another month or so. But you can pre-order the DVDs of the entire conference. Just go to theprophecyforum.com and you can do that there. I will be posting my lecture with probably another half hour to an hour of content added to the presentation because I couldn't fit everything in 55 minutes. So I wanted to expand on all of the PowerPoint slides that I had planned and put that into the video for the YouTube channel. So look out for that. That's something I'll be working on in the next few weeks. And also, I just wanted to say that part of the reason why I was unable to do more was because my computer over here is dying. I've produced a lot of stuff on this computer, 2 full-length films, all the videos that you see on YouTube have been done on this computer. Every episode of Canary Cry Radio was produced on this computer, all this stuff. So it's dying. However, God is good. And there is a person who I am so grateful for his giving heart. He decided to donate a computer to this ministry, and not just any computer, but a new Mac Pro. So I'll be getting that in the next few days, and that'll probably increase production levels substantially. So I'm really excited about that. I'm really grateful for this person. And also, I've been working on a book. My first book, it's going to be called The Cosmic Endgame, and the subtitle I haven't settled in on yet, but it's basically about the secret space program in Bible prophecy, and I've been looking at a lot of that, and it pertains to the topic of this video and future videos. Hopefully, I'll be posting a bunch of stuff, throwing out questions, because that's really what I want to do is spark conversation. I want you guys to comment and give me your thoughts in the comment section. You know, if they're compelling comments, I may even put that in the book, you know, so just keep that in mind. Be thoughtful, be cordial. Just some logistics there. If you have Google Plus, make sure you're logged into Google Plus, because that definitely helps with the commenting. Sometimes what happens is that your comment gets labeled as spam, whatever the algorithms are with YouTube and Google Plus or whatever. A bunch of comments get labeled spam for some reason, and I have to manually undo that. So I'll make sure to do that. So don't worry if your comment doesn't show up right away. It's not because I'm trying to block you or anything. It's probably because the algorithms considered you spam. But let's get into it. I will not ramble on like this in most videos. I just wanted to set it up because it's one of the first of hopefully many to come. I just want to throw out a topic and give my thoughts on it, and let you guys discuss the matter. And really, again, I think we need to have more discussions of this nature because it just doesn't happen a lot in churches and stuff like that. So the question I want to pose to all of you today is, biblically speaking, should man explore space? And this question, in terms of what I'm writing about with the secret space program is really pertinent. And it's really opened my eyes to different translations, different passages that I hadn't really considered before. And to be quite honest, I don't have a hard position on this yet. I tend to lean towards one side over another, and I'll explain that in a moment here. But that's the main question. Biblically speaking, should man explore space? And of course, there's two sides to the argument here. The anti-space travel people that say we should not travel to space, use certain passages to defend their position. One of them is Genesis 1:14, where it talks about the sun, the moon, and the stars were made for signs. And similarly, in Genesis 1:28, it talks about God giving man dominion over the earth. Nothing more, not the moon, not Mars, not whatever, just the earth. And then you get into Psalm 115, verse 16, where it says, "The heavens are the Lord's heavens, but the earth he has given to the children of men," indicating again that earth is our domain. We're not supposed to leave earth. And then the anti-space travel people also will use the topic of Satan's 5 I wills from Isaiah 14. One of them, interestingly, being that Satan wants to ascend above the heights of the clouds and make himself like the Most High, suggesting that, he wants to, again, thwart God in the process. And some have said that, maybe space travel is mimicking or sort of playing into that whole sentiment there. And I guess verse 13 earlier, where it says, "I will set my throne on high. I will sit on the mountain of assembly in the far reaches of the north." And so that's an argument there. And I have my thoughts on this, and I'll get into that in a moment. But moving on, also the Tower of Babel, the tops reaching into heaven. And of course, in Genesis 11, God tells us that if man is able to complete the Tower of Babel, they'll be able to do whatever they imagine to do. And actually, on that topic, I just posted an excerpt from my book, The Cosmic Endgame, and it's called The Tower of Babel and Particle Accelerators. Go to facelikethessun.com, and that blog post is there. I plan to make that into a short video as well, just to, just read the article out loud and put some visuals to it and stuff like that. So look out for that. But again, I'm not going to do some of the heavy video editing stuff until the new machine gets here. Moving on, the pro space travel people, the people that say, biblically speaking, yeah, we should travel to space. There's nothing wrong with that. They'll use some different scriptures. Now, some people use the same scriptures, like Psalm 115, where it talks about the heavens are the Lord's, and, we were given, the earth was given to the children of men, but that because it belongs to the Lord, and the earth ultimately belongs to the Lord as well, we can obviously go out and explore. And, that's a decent argument there. Deuteronomy 4:19 is very interesting, where it says, "And beware lest you raise your eyes to heaven, and when you see the sun and the moon and the stars, all the host of heaven, you be drawn away and bow down to them and serve them, things that the Lord your God has allotted to all the peoples under the whole heaven," suggesting that, oh look, the whole heaven, not just the earth. Isaiah 13:5 in the King James Version says, "They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land." The end of heaven, suggesting that, look, we've gone to the end of heaven at this point. And again, I'll comment on some of this in a moment. Matthew 24:31, and it's also echoed in Mark 13:27, "And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other." Now, these passages are really interesting because it seems to indicate that man will be in space, but that God will have to regather them back on the earth during the final trumpet. And one of the passages that I point out in my presentation and in my book, I start off with it, is Obadiah. There's only one chapter, verse 4. And it's a very interesting passage where it says, "Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord." In other words, there will be some at the end times who will nest among the stars and fly like eagles. Now, again, part of this might just be, the destruction or the judgment of Edom, which is what Obadiah is about. It's a prophecy about Edom. However, if we do read into some of it, and admittedly so read into some of this in the modern context, is it possible that God is telling us that, hey, there's going to be some of you guys, some humans that are going to be nesting among the stars. God is going to bring them back to earth for judgment. Another passage that's really interesting that sort of echoes this is Nehemiah chapter 1, verse 9. In the ESV, it says this, "But if you return to me and keep my commandments and do them, though those of you who have been scattered were in the most remote parts of the heavens, I will gather them from there and bring them to the place where I have chosen to cause my name to dwell." This echoes Matthew 24:31 and Mark 13:27, gathering the elect from the four winds, from the ends of heaven. So what does that mean? Does that mean that space travel is okay for man to do, biblically speaking? I think what's going on is that as humanity as a race begins to evolve into space and explore space, there is going to be some who hold on to Christ, hold on to the Bible as truth, and those people will be spared. But nevertheless, judgment happens on earth. We are still earthbound. We are earth creatures. Judgment will come to earth regardless. And so that's what I think is going on here. But the greater implication with a lot of these passages seems to suggest that what we're going to see is space exploration by humanity. Now, this whole topic obviously has hit the mainstream big time in the last few weeks with all the stuff going on in space, and I document some of that in my presentation. And you know, I don't want to put it in the book because it's sort of a timely thing. But Interstellar, the movie, I just saw it a few weeks ago. Good movie, great visual effects. But I propose that it is just a propaganda piece for a secret space program or a breakaway civilization, which the phrase coined by Richard Dolan. I get into all that in the presentation, also in the book. But basically, the point is that man is running out of resources here on Earth, and we need to travel to the stars, and humanity will go on. A famous line, or I guess one of the key lines from the movie was, "Man was born on Earth, but we weren't meant to die here." And that's sort of the perspective that's thrown into the worldview of the movie Interstellar. The other thing that's interesting is that, of course, the movie is much more new age than I was expecting, because those that save humanity are alleged ascended human beings who are, past the third dimension into the fifth dimension where time is a physical property, blah, blah, blah. So that's sort of new agey, right? That's sort of humanistic in nature, that, humanity will evolve and we will come back and save humanity, this weird sort of time loop there. But nevertheless, this idea of going into space is very prevalent in the press, and I think it's something that the elite have already started doing with their secret space program. And again, stuff I get into in the book. I don't want to get into it here. But going back to the main question, I want to ask you guys, what do you think? Do you think, biblically speaking, we are allowed to go into space, or at least explore space, or colonize space, or weaponize space? Or do you think, biblically speaking, we're supposed to just stay here down on, terra firma, figure out what's going on here, be salt and light onto the world, help out people? I mean, one of the things that really bothers me and gets to me, and sorry, I'm kind of rambling on here now, but one of the things that really bothers me is that, we have these secret space programs. We have a public space program that's going out into space. Orion just launched a few weeks ago. It's supposed to be a project a decade or so from now, pushing man into deep space and stuff like that. All this stuff is going on, all this funding going into space exploration, when we have people dying here on the planet, people starving to death, not have water, basic stuff not taken care of for a large part of the earth. I think the statistics say 1/8 of the earth is starving. Don't quote me on that. That's something I just remember from reading something somewhere. But in any case, all this money is being poured into space exploration when people on the earth are dying. We poured that same money into helping out those in need right here on earth, taking the biblical principles that Jesus gave us to love God and love others as yourself. I think we would be in a much better place. That being said, again, let me just pose the question to you one more time, and you guys can duke it out in the comment sections. Be nice. Biblically speaking, do you think man should travel to the stars?